tonight, when you lie down in your bedroom and the lights go off and the city outside finally quiets, you will probably feel something uncomfortable, a kind of restlessness you can't quite name. Maybe your mind starts racing. Maybe you reach for your phone. Maybe you put on a fan or a podcast or rain sounds on YouTube. And here's what's interesting. You've probably never asked yourself why we need noise to sleep, why silence, the thing we say we want after a long day, actually makes us feel worse. Because 300,000 years ago, your ancestor was sitting beside a fire, and the world around them was never quiet, not for a single second. Frogs calling across a river, wind moving through tall grass, insects building a wall of sound so thick you could almost touch it. That was silence to them. That was peace. So what happens when you strip all of that away, when you put a human brain, a brain literally sculpted by hundreds of thousands of years of natural sound, inside a completely silent room? Researchers at Cardiff University found something that stopped me cold. When people are placed in anechoic chambers, rooms so quiet they absorb 99.9% of all sound, most people cannot last more than 45 minutes. Some start hearing their own heartbeat. Some hear ringing. Some start hearing voices. Wait, think about that for a second. Your brain, when deprived of sound, starts generating it. Because silence to your ancient nervous system doesn't mean calm, it means danger. Because in the ancient world, when the animals went quiet, it meant one thing: something was coming. The crickets stop, the birds freeze, and everything that wanted to survive started paying very close attention. Your ancestors learned this over hundreds of thousands of years. Silence equaled threat. Nature's noise equaled safety. So when you crawl into your perfectly quiet, perfectly safe, temperature-controlled bedroom, your nervous system does not care about any of that. It just hears silence, and it panics. A 2021 study published in Current Biology mapped the natural soundscape our ancestors evolved in, analyzing acoustic data from forests, savannas, and river basins across Africa. The finding? There was no period of complete silence. Even deep midnight had insects, wind, water, distant animal calls. The human brain never evolved to process true quiet, because true quiet simply didn't exist. Imagine this. For 300,000 years, every single human being who ever lived fell asleep to the sound of the world. Crickets, fire crackling, water moving, wind in leaves. And then, in the span of about 100 years, we sealed ourselves inside boxes of concrete and glass and called it progress. But the body didn't get the memo. Cortisol, your stress hormone, rises measurably in environments of unnatural silence. Your heart rate subtly elevates. Your amygdala, the part of your brain that handles fear, becomes more active. Not because anything is wrong, but because your ancient brain is scanning for the predator that silence always used to announce. And this is why researchers from the University of Michigan found that just 20 minutes in a natural soundscape, a park, a forest, a riverbank, measurably reduces cortisol and activates the brain's default mode network, the same network tied to creativity, empathy, and emotional regulation. Think about every time you felt inexplicably at peace near a waterfall or a campfire or rain on a window. That wasn't just mood. That was your nervous system finally recognizing home. You weren't built for silence. You were built for a world that never stopped talking. And the moment you understand that, your insomnia, your 2 a.m. restlessness, your need for background noise stops feeling like a problem and starts feeling like memory. So tonight, when you lie down and reach for that fan or those rain sounds or that playlist of forest ambiance, just know something. You're not being strange. You're not being weak. You are a 300,000-year-old animal doing exactly what your species has always done, reaching for the sound that tells you the world is still safe. And somewhere out there, 300,000 years ago, someone just like you was lying under this exact same sky, listening to the same crickets, watching the same fire, fallen asleep to a world that never once went quiet. So what sound do you sleep to tonight? Drop it below. I genuinely want to know.